One problem with gamification for learning is that there are winners and people who don't win. Typically, we call those people losers. This can be a problem. Being a loser and the feeling that comes with losing are not fun or engaging. It can be frustrating and upsetting. Typically, in a learning situation, you want to avoid upsetting people or having them feel bad or incompetent. But with a competitive learning game, there are winners and losers. Players who do not win may get angry at the instructor, other players, or the gamification experience itself. They may become frustrated at their lack of progress or their continued wrong answers. They might try to cheat to gain an advantage or even just quit playing. For example, one time I was conducting a workshop and used a game at the beginning to provide a common learning experience to all attendees. During the process, one highly competitive woman was so upset that she lost the game, she mentally checked out for the rest of the workshop. She did not like to lose and was upset about it to the point where she couldn't concentrate for the rest of the day. This is one danger of using gamification for learning. When you decide to use gamification for learning with winners and losers, you need to find a way to deal with those who do not win. You need to help them avoid some of those negative feelings. Fortunately, there are several ways to try to lessen the sting of losing. One of the best methods is to de-emphasize winning. Don't spend too much time praising the winners or making a big deal about a victory. Make the prize for winning low-key or almost inconsequential. After the gamification experience, and even during the experience, emphasize the learning aspects, not the competitive aspects. Another tactic: forewarn learners that they might become upset or frustrated if they find themselves losing. Tell them that being frustrated or not successful right away is part of the learning process. In fact, ask learners to reflect and find lessons within the loss, although admittedly, this is often easier said than done. However, reflection does foster learning and is critical. Most people don't reflect on a win, they only reflect on a loss. Another method of lessening the sting of losing is to create different levels of winning. If someone can't win the entire gamified experience, perhaps they could win a round or a certain subject area. Recognize incremental successes or victories. This can be helpful if players fall behind early or if it's a fairly large gamified experience. If the experience is played over a long period of time, reset the score every week or have weekly winners. Recognize the player's own success. Let the player know how much they've improved rather than focus on whether or not victory was achieved. This can be better than comparing his or her performance to other players. It's a good way to emphasize progress in learning rather than winning. Finally, consider building or employing a cooperative rather than a competitive gamified experience. In cooperative experiences, team members work together to achieve victory. For example, in a game called Forbidden Island, players work together to leave a sinking island. Each player assumes a different role, and only by collaborating on moves and strategy can the players gather the treasure and leave the island safely. Here we see that cooperation encourages teamwork and reflects the reality of most jobs. Most importantly, for our lesson here, cooperation avoids one person being crowned the winner while everyone else loses. Losing is part of most gamified experiences and is often essential for reflection and learning. However, de-emphasizing winning, recognizing incremental victories, measuring a player's progress against herself, and using cooperative gamification elements are all ways to help players get the most out of the experience. So, what do we do with the problem of losing? Focus on learning and not on winning.